Celebrate each season is by cooking seasonal foods, and so I thought this week it would be fun to cut this pumpkin. That smells so good. It would be really fun to take you along and just make some fun festive foods. So I'm going to be taking you along. I'm hoping to do at least most dinners that we have this week, really just kind of focusing in on fall. I hope that this gives you some inspiration as you cook for your family or just love fall-centered foods. So our first dish is actually a salad. If you know me, you know that I love my salads. It's honestly one of my favorite foods any time of the year, but I love to kind of jazz them up seasonally. And this one is a roasted pumpkin salad. So the star of the show here is definitely the pumpkin that we are preparing right now. We are just gonna go ahead, pull the seeds out, and you know what? Sometimes clean hands is just the way to go. But we are going to roast these at 425 and then actually let them cool before we put the salad together. I would love to hear from you what your current favorite fall recipe is. So leave that down below and we can all inspire each other in the kitchen this week.
I can feel there is somebody here, and he's watching over me tonight as he takes away my fears. Lets me know there's a heaven up there. Yeah, he's reaching out his hand to me to wash away my tears. Oh, I know you and I praise you. Got my arms open for your love. Oh, I want to be near you. I hear.
One of my biggest hacks for cooking for a family or just for a larger group of people in general is to get a couple of dishes. These are a couple of mine. They are not that expensive and definitely my way of saving on dishes. So normally when you have a salad like this that has lots of different toppings, you would have all your different dishes and then everyone can put on their toppings, which I might do sometimes if we have like company or whatever. But when it's just us at home, I will just layer everything in here, and that way I have one dish to wash instead of 10. So anyway, in case you're not already doing that, I had to share that. I'm gonna start layering my salad in here, starting off with some lettuce.
I can see though my eyes are all closed. Yeah, he gives me strength to carry on and always lets me know that I'm fine just the way he made me.
I have to be completely honest with you. This is not the meal I was planning to cook today. I had it all planned out. I have some beans actually cooked here ready. I soaked overnight, have them all cooked for the meal I was going to make today, and realized I don't have corn flour, which is what I needed. So I'm gonna have to try to do that one a different day. So I'm kind of scrambling now as to what I'm going to cook. Ideally, I would serve the salad with either chicken breast, grilled chicken breast would be incredible, or else like ham, something like that. I didn't have anything on hand right now, so I'm just doing some chipped steak. If you are from Pennsylvania, you may well know what that is, but it was a quick thing that I could do on the spur of the moment. And then I also have our last pack of bacon, and then I'm also hard boiling some eggs. So a key thing I'm looking for in every meal is normally my first thing I figure out is the protein source, which obviously right now I'm all backwards because of my last minute having to switch up today's meal. But I'll start with protein and then build around that. Normally I'm starting with protein and then veggies, and then often there will be some carbs involved as well, but that's kind of how I go about planning my meal and making sure that we are for sure consuming the things that are most important.
They sing hallelujah And he's watching over me tonight as he takes away my fears. Oh, oh, I know you, and that was who got my arms open for your love. Oh, oh, I want to be near you. I hear angels from above. They sing hallelujah. They sing hallelujah.
On the menu for dinner tonight is a really fun one for the fall season, and that is basically cornbread with chili, but with a twist. I love to make the cornbread in the waffle iron, so it's cornbread waffles with chili over top, and just a really fun way to add a little twist on the traditional, you know, soup and bread. I love to put some homemade salsa when I make chili. It just adds really good flavor. And then I also soaked and actually pre-cooked these black beans the other day, so I'm just gonna add a bunch of those in here as well. As well as some tomato juice and seasonings. I actually don't have a recipe that I use for my chili. I just throw together a bunch of kind of taco-ish seasonings. Sometimes taco seasoning, often garlic powder, salt, and then just with ground beef, beans if I have some on hand, tomatoes if I have some on hand. I love hiding veggies in it like you saw me do with the spinach. Soups are a great way to get veggies into your kids. So it's a little bit of a mismatch, but I'll try to find a good one for you to link down below that's hopefully at least similar to what I'm doing here. We're gonna let those flavors kind of meld together and get started on the cornbread. Now I do have a specific cornbread recipe that I love to follow, and it is the golden sweet cornbread from All Recipes. I can link that one down below for you, and I'm gonna do that, and then just instead of baking it like it says on here, I'm going to pop it into the waffle maker. It is possibly our favorite time of all, and that is dessert. So this is one of our all-time favorite fall recipes, apple dumplings. And this time I actually made it in a sourdough version, but I also have a non-sourdough version, so I'll try to include both of them in the description box. I'm just starting off with peeling and coring the apples and then actually cutting them in half. We prefer that versus the full apple. And then I'm sprinkling them with some cinnamon, some sugar, and then I'm gonna get my pie crust out. And I had this sitting in the fridge probably 3 days, so it was pretty well fermented. You would not need to leave it sitting so long. I think the recipe actually says you can use it within a couple hours. And then often I just pull off a piece of dough and just kind of scrunch it around the apple. But I was feeling a little fancy this time, so I went ahead and rolled it out, cut it into squares, and then kind of crimped it around the apples. And then for a little bit of extra fall flair, I guess, I tried to find a cookie cutter that would work to look like a leaf. I didn't really have anything that was a leaf, but I found one that was like a flower that I kind of shaped to be like a leaf. All you more artistic ones could probably make this a lot fancier, but it was still fun. I just took a toothpick, drew some little leaf veins in it, and we were all set to go. And they actually turned out super cute. Do this one here like this. Then put that one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Good. I apparently lost my footage of where I'm mixing this sauce. It's just maple syrup, water, and cinnamon, and I'll have all that down in the description box as well. And then I add butter after it's done cooking. I just spoon that over here, go ahead and bake it. Yeah. And I highly recommend serving it with vanilla ice cream, cup of coffee, whatever you prefer. But it was so delicious. And quick note, you do not need to style your food like this when you're serving it by any means. It will taste delicious on a paper plate. I actually used to be really into food photography. I took a food photography course and I absolutely love food styling. So I was just having a little bit of fun. Absolutely no obligation to set things up like this. But next on the menu is actually our Saturday night tradition, which is burgers. We have burgers almost every Saturday night. And I was trying to think how I could add some fall flair to our typical old burger night and decided to make some sweet potato fries, which I am doing here. I've done this recipe before with just regular white potatoes. It works great here. I decided to try it with sweet potatoes. My only note would be I wish I would have salted it a little bit less since it's sweet potatoes. It would also be fun to coat these with sugar and cinnamon or something like that, but I just peeled my potatoes, sliced them up into kind of looking like French fries. They're not nearly all symmetrical. And then I actually rinsed them and massaged them a little bit. So you saw that kind of cloudy water. And then I'm going to go ahead and refill my bowl with cold water, adding, I think it's about a half to 1 cup of salt, and then actually letting that sit in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours just helps to pull the starches out and make for a crispier fry. I also decided to make an apple coleslaw to go on top of the burgers for a little bit of fall flair, and that's what we're making here, and I'll also have that recipe linked in the description box below. Now, we don't nearly always serve this with homemade French fries or coleslaw or really any sides even. And sometimes I will just buy bought hamburger rolls, but we really love homemade sourdough rolls. And this uses a sourdough discard, so it does not need to be puffy and risen. It can just be straight from the fridge. And they are so delicious. Sometimes I will top the rolls with sesame seeds, but I think all of our favorites is to just use coarse sea salt. So this does not take a lot of time. It's not an overnight recipe, but just adds so much flavor to just a traditional old hamburger. fries have been in the fridge for 2 hours, I go ahead and just drain them on this towel, and I try to drain them pretty well. I'll often kind of pat them dry with a towel and then deep fry them in this oil the first time for about 8 minutes. You just want them to be basically cooked through, and then I'll go ahead and actually leave them out on a rack to drip out and then fry them again, this time at a higher heat for only a couple minutes just to crisp them up. And I'll have all those details again in the description box below, but doing this double fry really helps to just make them really nice and crispy. Have the ingredients, I highly recommend making your own burgers for any burger night. I have a very simple recipe that I follow. I'm sure there's lots online as well. I just do 3 pounds of ground beef, 2 eggs, about a half cup of milk, about a cup of breadcrumbs, or if you don't have breadcrumbs, cracker crumbs works great, about a 1/4 cup of ketchup, some salt. Often I do onion, but I am not loving onion this pregnancy. So we skipped on that. Honestly, just kind of flavors as I can. And then I got this little hamburger mold off of Amazon actually, and it works great to mold nice even burgers, and they are honestly so delicious, so good for you, and we all really look forward to hamburger night. So I'll have that recipe written out for you as well. And I wasn't sure if I would even show you what I'm making since I did not go out and buy anything special for this. Here, you climb right up here. But I thought, you know what, this is real life. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you, even though it would have been fun to add some like little fall things. If I had more apples, it would be really fun to do like apples with a peanut butter dip or something like that. But we actually finished off our apples. So I am just peeling some eggs. Normally Sunday nights is some form of a charcuterie board, and I say that very loosely. It's basically whatever snack-like foods we have on hand. You can peel that one. Yeah, it's blue. Yeah, it's blue. So that's what we're doing tonight. We are peeling some hard-boiled eggs, and then we have these. They are like beef sticks. Whenever we get beef processed, we love to get some of those. They're kind of like jerky, but a lot tastier and not as dried out. But a really good, just proteinish snack. And then we'll maybe make some popcorn. Should we make popcorn?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. And we'll see what else we have on hand. What? Dirty?
You have dirty on your hand.
I do?
Yeah.
Where? You mean the eggshells?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we have our popcorn and then hard-boiled eggs, hummus, there's some dates. We have the beef sticks, more eggs. These are pears that we actually grew on our trees. Some pickles, and then these are some flax oat crackers, I think. Anyway, super simple, but that's normally how we do it for Sunday night. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week. I hope you were inspired. Don't forget to comment with your current favorite fall recipes down below, and we can all inspire each other. Thank you for being here, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, friends.
Golden, golden thing.